Hi everyone. Well, believe it or not, I finally finished my ICADs for this year. You know, the ones that were supposed to be done on July 31st. Oh my goodness, summer is such a hard time for me. I don't know what possessed me to try to do that challenge, but I don't think I'll be doing it in the future just because it is so difficult to get it done. And then I feel pressure to get it done, you know, and it's just kind of crazy. I think I'll just enjoy making ICADs along and along all throughout the year like I've always done from now on. But I went ahead and finished them off camera just because I needed to get them done, and it was just a lot of extra time and work to film the process of every one of them and get those put up. So I went ahead and made them all, and this one is just going to be a show and tell of the last 22. I think the last one I did a video on was the set that finished up with number 39, which was this one. And so I've got them all sitting here in a little box, little plastic box, because I haven't decided just yet how I'm going to bind them. But when I decide and when I do either create something or put them in something, I'll show you what I've done with them. But for now, they're just sitting in a box. Okay, so this was 39 that we finished with before. So we'll start with number 40, which is this one. I started with a plain index card on this one and just painted this wall color. I had a die cut that cut this window, this white window piece out, and then I found an image in a magazine to put behind the window, which I thought was kind of fun. And this little stack of books was actually a taller stack of books, and it created a table. It was in a catalog of some kind, and all of these things were sitting on top of the table. And to cut it out, of course, I wasn't going to cut out the plants because that would have just been too fussy for me. So I just cut the plants off at the top, cut the bottle out and all with the books, the few that I wanted to stack on my own table I painted in. And then I just drew in the stems and added some little dots of flowers on them from a Posca pen. So that's how I created that one, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Okay, the next one is just a very simple one of a map, and I loved all the colors on the map and the fact that there was land and water and a compass and all. Just, it was a really cool piece of a map, so I just added the quote on there, no matter where you go, there you are. So I like that one too. This one was really fun. This one I did off of a prompt, which was yellow. And started off by using Tim Holtz like sun rays, sunburst stencil. I don't remember the name of it, but I just used several different colors of yellow to create that, to stencil through. And then I added, this image is my own image. It's a piece of art I did for a friend. And I did it on book text, and it went into a journal for her. And I printed it out and just decided to use it because the bird and the sunflower were both yellow. So I thought, why not use, you know, a picture of my own art on my card, you know. And then I added the scripture because of the sun rays, and it was like a, you know, like a good morning sort of a thing. So it's, this is the day which the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it, from Psalms. So I really liked that one. That was fun. And then this one, I really, really, really wish you could have seen the wipe up card, because the wipe up card actually inspired this one. It had all of these greens and aquas just all over it, just from, like I said, wiping up excess paint. And at one point I had taken some little cap thing I have, and it's almost like a half circle, but a little bit more than a half circle, but not complete. And I had stamped in blue this, let's see, which color was it? One of these blues, either the light blue or the darker blue. And then I ended up filling in the circle with, I think it was the darker blue, and then I ended up filling in the circle with completely with blue and added the light blue around it. But anyway, the wipe up card totally inspired the peacock because the colors were just exactly like, you know, those found in a peacock. The only thing missing was the lighter color, green, yellow green color, and the gold, which, you know, I added that in. So anyway, totally made me want to make a peacock. The wipe up card did. So that's that one, number 43. Okay, this one was fun. This was just piddling around, kind of doodling, basically. I took a blank index card and put a piece of tissue paper with the black dots on it. That's all this one was, black dots. And so then I started connecting the dots, and I found this little sticker, and so I started coloring in some of the triangles that I made from connecting those dots. And then I decided it needs one more color, so I added purple, which was the washi tape little flags, and then I added additionally some purple triangles and all the little smiley faces. So that one was also fun to do. All of these are fun to do. I totally enjoy it, but I don't like the pressure of having to finish. That part kind of bugs me. And that's probably just part of my character, I don't know. But I thoroughly enjoy making all of them. So, okay, this one is another wipe up card. The entire card was these colors you see on the edge. Then I put a little watered down gesso in the center and drew around that white section with the black Posca pen. And I added this image from a magazine or from a catalog. This is another one of those little home decor pieces, you know, from a catalog. And I really loved it, and so I put that there. And then I added these are actually little flourish things I had die cut from this piece of green stuff, green painted paper, book text. So I just kind of put those in as if they were leafy, you know, stuff in the forest or something. I don't know. But it turned out really cool. I really love the way it looks. So I'm really happy with that one. And then this one was also a wipe up card. All of this you see in the background was a wipe up card. And I had some painted papers, strips that I had already created some small borders with, and they matched the coloring in this piece perfectly. So I added those on. And then I've had this sticker. I've got a sheet of these stickers that I've had for years, probably 20 years or more. And so I thought, well, that would be really cute on this card. And so then I decided to just make it into a flower, and just kind of finished it off like that. Did, of course, some stenciling on the background before I did all that. I did some stenciling in there and just made it fun. So that's that. I don't know if can you see that image? It's really cute, which is why I put that word there. Really sweet. Okay. All right, number 47 was a plain index card that I put on one of these dendritic prints that I had made. And I had done it on deli paper. So it, you know, Mod Podged right down to the card, and it looks like all that was painted on the card. So I love that. And normally because this looks so much like coral in the ocean, normally I make, you know, an underwater picture or something out of those, but this time I just decided to add a butterfly, and that's also cut from a catalog. I think it's a piece of jewelry or something. And I added a little bit of stickles to it. And then I added this little quote that I had on a stamp, painted a white area, and then stamped this little quote on. So I think that one turned out real sweet too. Sometimes they're very simple, but they're really effective even though they're simple, you know. It's always fun, especially when you've got something like this already made that you can just grab out of your stash and put it down, you know. Okay, this one turned out real fun too, and I had just found this image in a magazine. This whole piece that's got a dark edge around it, the torn out, all of that was one image in a magazine. I don't remember what image it was from. I mean, I'm sorry, what magazine it was from. But I loved it when I saw it there because it just looks like the kind of stuff we do, you know. So I tore it out, and then I tore it even, you know, smaller so it would fit really nicely on the card. And it had some text on the heart area, and it had some text on a flower and something back here. And because those text things were in place, I added more text on my own and highlighted words that I liked. This says friends, this one says art, this one says conversation, this one says laughing. And the way I did that was just, I took a piece of old book paper. It's really old, and the old stuff works really well for this. But I just took regular Scotch tape and stuck it down and burnished it, you know, with my thumb, and then peeled the tape up, and it pulls up the words with it, and then I Mod Podged it all down. So that's how that one came about. And then this is some washi tape on the edges here. Okay, this next one is a napkin. Just Mod Podged a napkin onto the card, on a plain card. And I found this quote in a little book of quotes that I have, and it says, "Your diamonds are not in far distant mountains or in yonder seas. They are in your own backyard if you will but dig for them." That's a quote by Russell H. Conwell. I just thought that was really nice quote for that picture of the goldfinches and the flowers and like in the garden. And I loved it that these words were in purple. Mountains and seas are in purple. And I thought, wow, how much more perfect could that be? So I like that one a lot. And it was so easy, and yet it's just so beautiful. Because these napkins we get today, you know, they're gorgeous. All right, this one was a messy wipe-up card, and just had a lot going on, so I kind of whitewashed it a little bit with some watered-down gesso, and I did stamp a little bit on it in that little honeycomb pattern that you can see there, and then put some words on to cover up some of that busyness. But I liked it still. I thought it was fun, and this was, you know, reminiscent of the ransom note thing I did in Mixed Media Morsels, which I really enjoyed. So that was a good one. All right, this one was a quote. Sorry, my brain is foggy right now. The prompt was purple. So I created a little owl with some different pieces of scrapbook paper scraps that I had laying around. And the washi tape, the background is washi tapes. And some of them are store-bought washi tapes. And then these others that look similar are my handmade washi tapes that I've made. So he was just fun to make, and did him in all purples. Just fun. Okay, this one was another simple one. I started leaning more towards simple as I got towards the end because I was getting tired. But this one was a colorful wipe-up card, and I had also stenciled some black dots. You can kind of see those in the background. And I whitewashed the whole thing with watered-down gesso. I added some border leftovers from scallop borders I made. So these are kind of like inverted borders. And they were pretty much the same colors as what was showing, so it worked out great. Then I stamped these images and punched them with a stamp punch, and also this one was stamped and cut out. And then these little flags are washi tape, pieces of washi tape. So that's that one. It's kind of got a postal feel to it. Okay, now this one, the entire card was this mishmash of colors. And other than the gold, I did add some gold. You can kind of see it shimmering a little there. I added some gold on top, but well, I take it back. The wipe-up card had a lot of paint on it, and then I used a palette knife and scraped on a bunch of these molding paste in colors that I had. I scraped it on and just randomly was scraping. And then I decided to make a fall leaf, so I drew out a leaf, and then I covered in several coats of gesso, covered up all the rest of it, and then just doodled on the white, added some gold on the leaf, cut these words out of some scrapbook paper scraps I had laying around, and I dotted some of the colors that are in here. I kind of dotted on the white. Right, now we're at number 54, and this was a wipe-up card, just lots and lots and lots of colors, okay, and I loved the colors on this card, and I was going through some images that I had, and I found this Mary Englebright image that was on a calendar. The image and the quote was on a little calendar page. It was like one of those a page a day calendars, and I guess this particular calendar was all her art, because I have 2 or 3 of those sheets, but I loved it. Ideas are the root of creation, and so I just put it down on my page. The blue border on this picture was already there, and then I just added the white dots around it and put the quote in. So that one was fun and very simple to do. Okay, this one was also a wipe-up card, and I took this little piece of needlepoint canvas and dipped it in white paint and made added the white to the background. And then I cut out some more of those dendritic prints that I had. They had been done on book text, and actually see, did I cut those? I tore these circles out. Yeah, I tore these out. And then I glued them down, scribbled around them, and then added some stamps. I stamped on tissue paper. This one I actually stamped right onto the circle. But this one and this one I had stamped on white tissue paper, and then, you know, tore that out and Mod Podged it down. So it kind of looks like it was stamped right on. I love that. Then these are some little cardstock stickers that I had, and so I added those to the card, and this is a rub-on that says Explore Life. So it was just fun and colorful. Loved it. Okay, here's another fave. Again, a wipe-up card with a lot of dark colors on it. So I found this image. It was a free printable on Pinterest, and I wrote my name on my cup and stamped out the letters to spell yum. Drew a border on and Mod Podged it. And it was done. So that's how that one looks. These are really fun, you guys. If you haven't done an index card, art on an index card before, you really should do it, because it is so enjoyable, and it's so much less pressure when you're doing a small piece than it is when you're doing something big. And that's one of the reasons why I started the mixed media morsels too, because we're working on a small scale, you know, and it's just so much easier and pleasant. And then once you get used to working on a small scale, you can move on to something bigger, you know, and you'll already know what to do. So I think that's kind of fun. Okay. This next one, the prompt was stickers. So I just happened to have some cute little owl stickers. And I decided to use them. I took a blank index card and kind of watered down blue paint, kind of covered the card to make like a sky effect. Then I stenciled this tree on and colored it just a little bit with my Faber-Castell Pitt pens, and you know, shaded the tree a little bit and outlined and all, and then I added these little owls. I think they're so cute, and they're they're shiny. They've got a little bit of silver on them. See if I can get the light to hit them just right. There you go. You can kind of see how that they're shiny. And then I decided to stamp the word family on there because I realized that could be kind of like this is me and this is my 6 grandkids. And we're all living in the tree together. But I just thought that was a really sweet way to use these stickers, and it's just fun. I can't wait to show the grandkids how that one turned out and what I think it means. You know, that they'll be saying, "That's me, that's me." Okay, the next one I also did off of a prompt, and the prompt was graffiti. And so it looks like this. It's pretty messy. And it didn't start out looking so messy. I mean, it was messy and looked like graffiti, but it wasn't as dingy looking as it is right now. But dingy is okay for graffiti, which is kind of supposed to be on the wall, so I just left it. All the pink and all was brighter. All the colors were brighter, actually. But I'm not sure if I didn't let the Posca pen dry enough or what happened, but I put some golden matte medium on it, and it just started smearing. So I got, you know, all these smears and all that, you know, covering up the pink. But then I felt like it kind of gave it a good effect. It should look dingy. You know, if it's graffiti, it should look dingy. So I left it. And so that's my graffiti card, number 58. Okay, number 59 is a wipe-up card that I did some stenciling on top of in the background. And then I whitewashed the whole thing with a couple of coats of watered down gesso until I got it pushed back enough that I could put this image on top. These hearts are some painted papers of mine, and I already had them punched out. I found them in a scrap box and decided to make some flowers in a vase. And I didn't realize until I was completely finished with this that I had just made that other heart flower. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to think I'm totally nuts over heart flowers because I had just done this one. Well, not just, but it was on the September 26th, and this one was on October 4th. So it wasn't that long ago, but I totally forgot I just did a heart flower. Oh boy. But anyway, I decided to go ahead and make flowers out of them again anyway. And so I put them, you know, like I said, in the little clear vase and added some rub-ons to the side, just using up. I'm just trying to use up a bunch of stuff. And then I stuck this little quote on that says, "No beauty shines brighter than that of a good heart." So anyway, that's how it turned out. I like it. And this next one is one of my absolute favorites, just simply because it is so cool. All right, I was watching, I'm going to do a shout out right now. I was watching my friend Tammy Bracket on her channel, and I want all of you to go there and check out her channel because she does some really cool art. And she is really good at using stuff she has. And if you guys like to alter and upcycle and really want to watch somebody do that with regular ordinary household things, go check out her channel. She is really good at it. And I'm going to put I'll put an iCard up here in the corner, and I will also try and remember to put a link in the description to her channel. But go check her out because she does some fun stuff. And when you see this next card, you'll see why I liked what she did so much that I wanted to try it. Okay, this is an index card. And it's totally three-dimensional. I don't know if you can see. Let's see if I can get the camera angle right. Okay, these things are raised, okay? And it's shiny because I used metal tape, all right? Let me get the metal tape and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, it's this stuff that you get from the hardware store. Okay, it's very shiny. It's got the peel-off backing. All right, and she was taking this metal tape and covering some tea boxes, just regular boxes that you buy tea from the grocery store, buy tea in from the grocery store. And they look so cool. And I was like, I really want to try that. So what I did, and what she did, was I attached some chipboard pieces. These two things and this little frame are pieces of chipboard that I attached to the card. That's how I started it. And then I laid this tape on top of the card. You know, did it like, actually did a piece in the center, and then I cut one piece like this in half and laid 2 more strips down. And you take and you press it in around the chipboard, you know, and you can use letters, you can use like decorative images, like pieces like this, and you can use the end of your paintbrush to, you know, work around to press it all in, okay, and get it all laid down, get all the tape stuck down real good around the images. You can use the end of a paintbrush. She uses a Q-tip sometimes to push it in there. I also used a stylus, you know, with the little ball end on it. But I cannot believe how old this looks. It looks old, ancient. And all I did was stick that tape down, and then I put black paint on it and wiped it off again. And then I put more black paint on and wiped it off again. And then I used some bronze colored paint and wiped over it a little bit. And then I used some of the, what are those things called? Oh. Metallic lusters. Then I used some of the metallic lusters in iced espresso color on top. And it's kind of like a goldish color. And, you know, just rubbing it on there and wiping over it and rubbing it on, let it dry, wipe it off. I mean, it's just a process of just getting the right, whatever the look is that you're going for. And then on the inside here, once I finished, I realized it kind of looked like, made me think of like the top of a trunk, an old trunk or something. And so I remembered I had the stamp that said memory, so I stamped it on a piece of tissue paper again. And Mod Podged it to the inside of that little frame, and even that area looks really old where the stamped pieces inside. Just the whole thing looks so old, and so I'm just really tickled with how it turned out. It's just, it looks metal, it looks old, and I just think it's awesome. My friend Ruth said it could be like the front of a journal cover or something. Could make a journal cover like this. So that's a cool idea that I might try. So anyway, yes, check out Tammy Bracket's channel and subscribe to her, give her some likes, comment, and just help her grow her channel, because she's a relative newbie, and she really deserves you know, to have her work seen. She's an awesome little artist. So check her out. And that was number 60, and the last one is number 61, and I paid homage to my mixed media morsel whimsical birds. So I started with a blank index card and painted a little bit of blue and green, and then I stamped some floral images on it, and made a little whimsical bird, and also one of my butterfly morsels I made. And that was a scrap from the original butterfly morsels that I made. So made a new little whimsical bird, and that finished off my ICAD 2016 adventures. So as you can see, I have a whole box full of ICADs that I've got to now do something with. I've got to, you know, put them in a book or something. I just haven't decided. I don't know if I'm going to just attach, you know, a ring. Just what I'm going to do yet. I don't know. the last, let's see, the last half I did vertically. And the first half I did horizontally. And I did that on purpose because when you're flipping through a book, I don't know about you, but I don't enjoy it when I'm going like this, and then I turn the page and I have to turn the book this way, and then I turn the page and I have to turn this way, and then I turn the book and I have to turn it this way. That's kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of one of those little pet peeve things, I guess. But I've done it myself in my own journal, so I mean, I'm not immune to it, but I just thought when I was creating these, I'm going to do it a little differently. So I did all of these. Here's the cover way back at the beginning. They're all in reverse order, but here's my cover from way back in the beginning. So it will start out as a horizontal book, and then when you get to number 31, they will all be vertical, so it'll just be easy to flip through. So that's what I did, guys. Appreciate you hanging in there, waiting for me to get it done. And I'm sorry I couldn't do a process video for all of them, but there'll be other videos and hopefully some more streams and things coming up. So hang in there with me, and we'll be back for the next one, whichever it is. I don't know if it'll be a video or a stream, but I hopefully have my camera working properly again, so we'll be testing that out soon again for a stream, and we'll see you when we see you. That's the best I can say. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.